Welcome to In the Moment with Kortia, where we inform, inspire, and motivate you to be a positive agent of change. It's Motivational Monday, so let's crank it up. Let's get the engine going. Hey, look, we got rested. The weekend has come. The weekend has gone. And now we're springing forth in the Motivational Monday to carry you through for the rest of the week. And I want to shout out and say good morning to Central Louisiana and the surrounding areas. Natchitoches, Gina, Alexandria at 88.1 FM. Monroe, West Monroe on 98.9 FM. Shreveport, Greenwood on 92.5 FM. Joseph, Natchitoches, Mississippi on 99.3 FM. And Lake Charles on 100.1 FM. On this Motivational Monday, we're talking about actively looking for opportunity. Again, actively looking for opportunity. I mean, we hear it all the times that, opportunities are always passing us by. You know, when opportunity comes knocking, are we going to be ready? But, what is it to, instead of letting it pass us by when it tries to come knock on our door, when we actually get out there and we're actively looking for it? Family, you can call into the radio station at our local number at 318-484-2500 or toll free at 877-464-2500. And again, actively looking for opportunity. Now, many of you have actually been listening to the broadcast, okay, every day. You've been listening to the broadcast. You've been tuning in. I mean, you've been getting all the nice tidbits. You've been getting all the to-dos, the step-by-steps, and you've been lining everything up. You're checking, your life as far as, like, what you got going on right now, as far as, like, maybe you're at a starting point, maybe you're at a mid-level point, or maybe you're right there just getting ready to go ahead and just launch. Just go for it, all right? Get ready to take that leap of faith, all right? And so on this Motivational Monday, as far as, like, while we're talking about actively looking for opportunities, that's the other portion of it to let you know that the opportunities that we are seeking may actually be staring us right in our faces, because a lot of us really don't realize that a lot of times that we think that, how we keep hearing about, opportunities passing us by and, opportunities that come knocking at our door, is that it's being presented to us in a form that we may not realize as an opportunity. And a lot of people miss out because, we kind of like generalize and expect something to come to us in one way, and it's totally something opposite, and that's how it just totally passes us by. And so, like I said, many of you every day have been taking the notes. You've been letting it get ingrained in your spirits. You've allowed these things to really just wake you up to everything that you may have possibly been missing. But then you're like, okay, well, what's it going to take for me to actually take everything you've been talking about so I can actually stay in my moment, to actually be able to, go to the fullness of what God has in store for me? But, let's just be real. A lot of you might be just like I was many years ago, okay? You're actually wondering, okay, what opportunities do I have available to me, and what can I actually do to, pretty much partake in these opportunities? And like so many opportunities that are actually out there, we don't realize that some of them might actually just fall in our lap. And then, most of us don't realize the opportunities that are right in front of us, because why? It's actually going to take what? Well, yet again, work for these opportunities to, be made manifest, for these opportunities to really start bringing us into the fullness of, like I said, what God has in store for us. And, it's you might be saying, well, wow, there he goes with the work again. Well, family, look, everything that you're going to have to do in life, all right, whether you realize it or not, it's going to take some type of effort. And, I'm trying to just say effort, but let's just be real. It's going to take work. It is really going to take work. Something I actually told God, a few years ago, I was saying to myself, man, if I'm working this hard for someone else to help them realize their dream, to help their lives progress, to help them be more prosperous, I would actually work even harder for myself to bring about everything that you've given me a snapshot of. And, that's why I tell people sometimes you have to be careful about the words that are actually coming out of your mouth, because I tell you what, your words will definitely bring forth life. Definitely start to create that picture that you may have spoken years ago. And I mean, it's not necessarily that myself and my family, we're working harder, but we're having to be like more skillful, more mindful, always having to pick up, different things, become smarter, always analyzing the choices that are put in front of us. I mean, it's one thing to actually be looking for opportunities, okay, actively looking for them. But it's another thing when you have so many opportunities that God is putting in front of you, or should I say, what God's putting opportunities, but then the enemy's trying to put these little detours, these fake little quote unquote opportunities that try to get you off the pathway that you need to be on. But that's a whole nother lesson in itself. So opportunities that you have, like I said, are going to require work. Now, what type of opportunities may be standing there looking at you like right in your face? And you might be like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean, Cole? What kind of opportunities can be right in my face? All right. Think about where you are, okay? I don't know where you are as far as like in the state, around the country, under the sound of my voice, maybe you're driving, but is there something that you always see that, I don't know, maybe in your community or different areas where you go, household, or people talk about, and you always hear people talking about something that's missing? Man, if we only had this in the community, it would change things. Wow. If we only had this particular type of restaurant. Wow. If someone only had this particular type of service, okay? Opportunities can be verbalized in front of you all the time, but a lot of us, we just get into this like conversation of shoulda, coulda, woulda, okay? We're just talking about it, but no one's actually doing anything about it. There are gaps that are out there that can be filled, but no one's actually willing to go ahead and take that opportunity by the reins, or take that opportunity by the steering wheel, as you want to say, and go ahead and drive that thing, drive it to the eventual end. So we have a lot of opportunities out there, but just because it's not specifically maybe the main opportunity that we were looking for, or it may be at the bottom of our so-called life's to-do list, we don't actually go forth and do or take advantage of that particular opportunity. Now, there's so many of you right now, right here in the Alexandria, Central Louisiana, around the state of Louisiana. There are opportunities you're walking by each and every time. Now, it was something at how saw this man years ago. I'm talking at least 20 years ago, about one of the most it's kind of on a morbid side, but just think about it. A lot of times when cops or police individuals and they go to like crime scenes and, it's some type of fatality that actually happened, and, families have to actually come out and identify the remains of the individual or identify a family member. Well, a lot of individuals, don't realize that when this happens, okay, the city or the individuals around it, they don't do anything for that. And then I heard one individual actually say, well, what if someone actually went into business to actually go and clean up these areas, okay, to where families didn't have to actually deal with stuff like that. And, yes, it's an opportunity, and yes, it would require someone to be a strong will, but those things like that are just actually presented. A lot of times, opportunities that come before you are going to be things that no one else wants to do at all. But what you need to realize is that when opportunities actually present themselves, you're either going to rise up and take that challenge to go forth in it, because as you take an opportunity that nobody wants, I can guarantee you some type of promotion is going to happen, some type of increase is going to happen, and yes, it is going to require work. I stated to you before, the training that I received before we started this radio broadcast, okay, when God blessed us with this platform, that's not only for me and my family, as I keep saying, but for all of you, for when you call in, okay, to where it started when I actually took a shift working at a plant that no one else wanted to as the overall supervisor, and it went from me getting there and starting at what time? 3 o'clock in the morning to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because no one wanted that shift. Everyone wanted the cushy come in at 5, 6 a.m., so they can get off at like 2, 3 o'clock. But because I actually took that opportunity, well, what ended up happening? My rate of pay went higher than the other supervisors that were in the plant. So it may not have been my ideal opportunity, but what? God allowed me to see the increase and the favor that would happen in that particular opportunity. But see, that's what it means to actively be looking. It may not line up with, like I said, things that are going on in your life initially. Okay, did you catch that? All right, it may not line up with something that's going on in your life initially, but a certain opportunity can be a stepping stone to start you on the pathway to where God is actually taking you, because it's not going to be totally pieced together and totally shaped out. As I had to share with someone on yesterday, you may have to take a step and it may not look like it's not going anywhere where God is actually taking you. But every time you take a step in faith, it's going to make that picture become a little bit clearer, okay? It's like a 5,000 piece puzzle. It's going to be frustrating in the beginning. It seems like you're not going to make any headway with it, but each time you may take one little piece of that puzzle and put it together, that picture is going to come more into focus. It's really going to take shape. And that's what it is to actively be looking for opportunities. So continue to keep looking for these opportunities, all right? And, you know, they're like I said, they're going to sometimes be big, sometimes they're going to be small, and yet sometimes someone may actually come right in front of you, almost like with a box that's going to be kind of shady looking with the opportunity right on the inside. But don't just, like I said, as I spoke to someone on yesterday, don't despise the humble beginnings. Start where you at and then run with it. And you know something? You may just find out just how much God is keeping you right then and there in your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this Motivational Monday. Motivational Monday. Hey, it's Monday, but Monday you don't have to get up on this early Motivational Monday talking about, oh man, I'm looking forward to Friday. Look. It's motivational time because we're talking about actively looking for opportunity. Family, call in at the radio station with your questions or comments at the local number 318-484-2500 or toll free at 877-464-2500. Look, like I said, even when you're looking for your opportunities and everything that are out there, when you're actively looking for opportunities, I mean, we really need to, like I say, you can be actively looking for something, but you know, you have to be intentional when you're out there looking for your opportunities. I mean, it's basically like a mindset. It's that it's basically like a mindset. You have to actually be purposeful to go out there. Okay, look, like this. You cannot have, say like if you're looking for a job, okay, you're looking for that opportunity to get a job, looking for an opportunity to get employed. Now, someone that asked me when, you know, I didn't have a job, was going in to say, hey, you got your job yet? I was like, no, I'll fill out an application here. I just went to fill out an application here. I went to fill out an application there. But then, you know, something just clicked on the inside of me, okay? And I said I worked in a corporate structure, and then all of a sudden something just clicked on the inside of me. And it's basically this voice, this still small voice, which is definitely the Holy Spirit said, see, you filling out all of these, I'm going to have to put it to you like this. This is how the Lord speaks to me. You filling out all of these applications, but you're not going and taking what's yours. And I'm like, okay, go and taking, because, you know, when we walking in a certain level of authority, when you are actually a child of God, you don't have to just go fill out an application. You really just don't have to go out there and just wait for someone to just give you something. I remember coming out of my mouth and saying, well, you know something? I specifically said, I'm going to go to such and such Walmart and I'm going to go and get my job. Really, it happened just like that. I'm going to such and such Walmart and I'm going to go and get my job. Now, did I just go and show up and just say, hey, the Lord sent me over here to take this opportunity and I'm coming to get my job? No, they would have looked at me all kind of crazy and laughed me out the front door. But what I did do was take the preparation and the steps that I had been taking for other jobs, went over there with a resume, went over there, you know, nicely dressed, you know, to let me know that, hey, I'm coming to receive what God has in store for me. And definitely when I went there, it's funny exactly how it was manifested, how I ran into a manager, told him exactly why I was there, didn't go to the like people usually go to hire, didn't go to like the little hiring kiosk I think they have, none of that stuff. Didn't go online, none of those things that they do that most people do. Walked up in there, started going to the back, a manager came out, told them why I was there, and they were like, wow, we're actually looking for people to step into management. And then lo and behold, she's like, well, the person that you need to speak to is actually busy right now. Could you wait? Well, 10 minutes passed, 15 minutes passed, 30 minutes passed, 40 minutes passed. And then she was like, well, you may need to go to the little kiosk. And then all of a sudden, the individual that was supposed to sit down and speak to said, hey, I'm looking at your resume, and based upon, you know, your experience and everything, you don't have to do that kiosk. So it went from not going to the kiosk and how God, when I said I'm going to get my job, okay, I'm not saying I'm going to fill out that application. I said I'm going to get my job. the opportunity that just swelled up in my spirit where he was guiding me. And what ended up happening, instead of me going to fill out an application, I ended up getting the number for the regional individual that oversees hiring. And it went from me calling them, emailing my resume, and literally getting set up for, the one-on-one interviews or whatever with the so-called board the following week. And then like the week after that, I was scheduled to go ahead for training, got hired, just like that. Bypassed so many different steps and went right into the whole hiring process, into training. But see, are you actively looking for your opportunities? Now, there's exactly, all right, as much opportunity, out in this world as you're actually willing to work for. Did you hear what I said? There is exactly as much opportunity in this world as you are willing to work for. But what is it? If you are not actively seeking it, if you're not actually willing to work for it, then look, you don't have any reason to go ahead and complain and say, look, there's nothing out there for me. There are no doors open. I've said so many times to people, just because of the place where it may be or the amount of money that it is, if you have zero income coming into your household and bills need to be paid, food needs to be on the table, you know something? You better swallow your pride and go flip somebody's burger. You better swallow your pride and go clean up something. You better do what you need to do to go ahead and make it happen. Oh yeah, I'm talking to a lot of the men out there right now. I'm not trying to come down on you, but look, we shouldn't have between 30 and 40-year-old guys, sitting in mom and dad's house playing video games or, trying to wait for the parents to go ahead and take care of them, all right? And we shouldn't have, some of our ladies or whatever out there that's trying to live off of the system, okay? Remember, government assistance. It's called assistance. It's not called lifestyle, all right? It's something that's temporary. It's something to be needed to get you over the hump temporarily. And guys, like I said, we need to actually be setting the stage and showing our families, the people in our communities, the opportunities that are out there. Instead of going around talking about, okay, I can't get a break because of this one. Man, the color of my skin, this. Man, look, they trying to put me down. When they see me, they don't take me for real. I'm not able to, look, we give all type of excuses why we just don't want to take opportunities, why we let opportunities pass us by. But look, like I keep saying, I keep telling you, when you want it, when you see that you're in your moment, you're going to have to finally realize you're going to have to own that thing. Or you're going to have a made-up mind to actually say, no matter what comes up in front of me, I'm not going to allow anyone to stop me from actually taking advantage of the opportunities that are in front of me, okay? See, now I know through February you didn't hear me say one single thing about Black history. Not one thing, not one single thing about Black history. There was a reason for that. The reason for that is that I thank God for all of the men and women, children of everyone that went forth before me, being a African American myself, Creole brother that's laid the foundation for me. I thank God for that. But guess what? When you rise up in this day and age right now, and you take advantage of the opportunities that God is placing before you, no matter what they look like, if you take advantage of those opportunities, guess what? You are creating history right now for yourself. So stop trying to dwell on the past and stop trying to dwell on things that people did a long time ago. Take your necessary steps right now. Create the history for you and your family and lay a foundation for generations for those to come. Because they don't have to look back to the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, and however far you want to go back, all right? They can look, wow, 2019 was a defining moment where my uncle, my mom, my grandfather, whoever it may be, laid the groundwork to allow me to see that it is possible. They took something that was so small and turned it into this great thing that I'm benefiting from right now. Hey, I think you're in your moment. If you didn't realize that you're in your moment, because what? Today is going to be the day to where you actually going to start identifying and actively looking for opportunity and taking advantage of that. Because look, each and every opportunity, like I said, is going to take work. But did you ever realize that the more work that you do, I said work, I didn't say toil, and you need to know what the difference is. When you're actively seeking your opportunities and you're working towards your opportunities, you're going to find out just how much you are growing. You're going to find out just how motivated you are on this Motivational Monday, and how people are going to start to take note of that. You're really going to find out how you're going to start being inspiring to so many other people. You're really going to find out at how they're looking at you and how you're blazing a path that hasn't been done before. You're really going to find out exactly who God is crafting you to be. You're in your moment, family. You're in your moment. And let this be the day that you finally decide to get up off of that sofa and take advantage of everything that he has in store for you. Take this time, take this moment, and grab hold of that opportunity. And when we come back from break, we're going to really gloss and take you to that next level of showing you how God's going to increase your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this Motivational Monday. Family, you can call into the radio station, our local number, 318-484-2500, or toll free at 877-464-2500. And we're talking about on this Motivational Monday, actively looking for opportunity. And, you know, what's really interesting is that Scripture lets us know that faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God, okay? But then, of course, it also goes, and Scripture lets us know that faith without works, what does it say? Faith without works is dead. So what does that mean? What does that mean about actively looking for opportunity? Okay, you can have the faith, you can have the word going on the inside of you, but what are you actually going to do with that? If the Lord actually came up to you, okay, and I use this, use the example of Gideon before. I kind of am tickled every time I actually read over Gideon and how this guy's hiding, you know, he's threshing the wheat, he's hiding by the wine press just because at nighttime he's threshing wheat of all times, okay, trying so that it doesn't get stolen by the Midianites, because, you know, the Israelites were at that time of famine, and then all of a sudden the angel of the Lord just appears before him. Hail, you mighty man of valor. Hail. And then, of course, like so many of us, we turn around and we look to the side and we look, left or the right, and we're like, okay, who you talking to? You talking to me? Who you talking to? Because why? We really don't realize that one of the greatest opportunities that we're actually going to be able to be actively looking for is the opportunity of realizing our true self-worth. That's actually one of the greatest opportunities that you're actually going to have to be looking for. But when you actually are taking action, okay, see if you can follow me on this. As I said before the break, when you are actually starting to be that trailblazer, someone that's actually actively looking for the opportunities, actually going for it, if you're doing the work that's necessary, okay, you're grabbing hold of these opportunities, no matter how small they may be, and you're cultivating these things and you're growing these opportunities, people start to take note of that, okay? Now, what you may not realize is that it's not just your family, your friends, possible co-workers, you know, maybe the opportunity that you're actually taking maybe to finally just take that leap of faith, as we keep saying, and starting your own business, okay? Did you ever realize that if you take the opportunity that's actually presented before you, that people on the outside are going to start taking note? And what I mean by that, I'm talking about, what about investors, okay? About people out there seeing investors or executives of other companies, and they see what you're doing, and, you know, they're taking note of it. And a lot of people out there, you know, are watching your life. You see, some of us really don't realize we're doing things right now, and people are kind of on the fence. And what I mean by that is that people are kind of on the fence of, okay, I want to see if they're going to stick with it, because if they stick with it, then I'm going to help them. Or they're going to be wishy-washy like everything else that they tried and just give up and like say this whole thing, well, you know, I figured it wasn't going to work. You know, I did my best. I gave it a good try, you know, and that's what so many of us do. We give it a good try. We give it a wholehearted effort to where when we're sitting around under the tree Remembering old times or whoever it is, talking about, yeah, I tried that, so you can go ahead and be a part of the try club like so many other people, try. There are billions of people in the try club, but there are not so many people that are in the dedicated club, that club that actually gets you out to be actively looking. That club that actually allows you to, sharpen yourself with other people, as the Bible calls it, iron sharpening iron, okay? But if you stay with it and you stick with it, people are going to take note of you. And look, we know what an investor is. I hope you know what an investor is. Somebody that may want to invest like time in you, someone that may want to teach you different skills, someone that may want to invest in you financially, whatever it is, okay? An investor is someone that wants to take something of themselves and instill it on you or on the inside of you to help you get to that next level. But even if you have someone that wants to help you as you're actively looking for these opportunities, as you're actively taking advantage of these opportunities, it's still going to require work on your part. Okay, so just like you've got this vision to start your own business, okay? Say like it's a restaurant. You've got this vision, you've got training, you've been certified as far as like by the state and food service. I mean, all of these different things. But then someone says, hey, I see how you've been plugging. I see you're actively there. Maybe you've told them about your vision. You've told them, they probably just did a little quote unquote testing just to see exactly how knowledgeable you were. Maybe they asked you about the dishes and everything that you're going to have, the theme of it, the location. And then they say, wow, I see this as an opportunity not only to help you, but actually help me to actually increase my, portfolio and so on into your business, because I see how I can bring dividends for me for years to come. But what's going to happen? No matter all of this comes about, it's still going to take what? Work. It's still going to take effort. Did you realize that when you even are taking advantage of an opportunity, listen to what I'm saying, it's going to help you right now in your moment. Even as you're taking advantage of an opportunity, there are going to be opportunities that actually jump up inside of that opportunity. Why? Because if you're actually taking that first step, okay, like I said before, don't despise those humble beginnings. If you're taking advantage of the opportunities before you, it's not going to stay the same, okay? It's going to progress. It's going to grow. Now, it may not look like that in the beginning, but it actually is going to progress. And the individual that may be investing in your life, okay, say if it's money, they may say like after 18 months or 2 years, they're starting to get a return on their investment. And they're like, wow, I really see where this is going. They may actually open up another opportunity to say, hey, did you actually think or did you actually have a plan to actually progress and maybe one day build another restaurant to actually get bigger? And you might, well, I didn't think about that. My focus was on the one restaurant. And then inside of that opportunity, they may actually start leading you, more investors may come in to actually help you broaden that vision. And it may be investors that come in and actually have more of, how can I say, more knowledge or similar knowledge or skill set based upon what you're doing. See, we can't despise where we start from because we don't see exactly where we're going. And a lot of times, some of us, we have opportunities that are dropped right in our lap. And we look at that thing and we're like, wow, okay, is this it? This is all? I mean, this is the best that I can get exactly right now? Don't you realize the knowledge and the skills that I have? Hey, I'm talking about myself because I'm like this. I went through this. Don't you realize how I've got X amount of years of experience in this? I've got all of this knowledge. I mean, I'm training people to be entrepreneurs themselves, coaching people to do all of these different things. But because of an opportunity wasn't what I thought it was, and because an opportunity may not be what you thought it was, what happened? It just simply passed me by, went right on to the next individual. But what? Are you seriously and are you actively looking for the opportunities that are presented in front of you? And like I said, you have got to be passionate about these things. When you have an opportunity, all right, it's just that you just can't get into anything in life and just say, wow, I'm excited, I'm getting in that thing, and hey, this is it for me. This is it for me. And because it's not producing the results you see within the first 90 days to 6 months, you're like, okay, wow, I'm kind of really losing focus. Maybe you're starting to allow Satan to try to give you some like ammunition to where you can get that like self-doubt to open that doorway. But what's going to actually keep you passionate and keep you driven in order to build, the experience to actually catch the attention of, those potential investors that may actually play a major role in your future success. Now, if you project the image of something that's just being basically like a hobby, just something I can do it or not do it, then no one's going to actually take you seriously when it comes to opportunity. No one's actually going to, as they say, give you a seat at the big table. You're always going to have these kiddie table kind of opportunities instead of getting invited to come to the big table, to where you're really going to get your big breakthrough. But what? It takes you to actively be looking for opportunities. And look, family, you have got to be actually mindful and prayerful of each and every opportunity. I shared before, my family and I, we have many opportunities that keep presenting themselves in front of us. But we've got to be smart. We've got to be intentional. We've got to actually seek God in all of the opportunities that are presented in front of us. Why? Yes, it may bring about some quick dividends. It may seem like, wow, you got some good quick money or something coming. But hey, is it going to fit into the long-term plan? Like they say in golf. Is it going to be a part of the long game, okay? Not the short, immediate thing, but is it going to fit into the overall long game? Yes. Will opportunities help you in the beginning when you're actively seeking them to actually keep you up, to actually help your confidence, to actually let you know or help you to say, hey, I'm on the right path? But look, that's good, all right? It's just like anything else in life. The small and immediate successes are what we need, but we cannot get on always being focused on the small immediate successes, but focus on what's going to build the greater picture down the road. What's going to create that destiny, that dynasty that's truly available for us to actually lay the foundation and the groundwork for right now, and it's actually going to carry us over to where it's going to, like I continually say, benefit our families, okay, benefit our community. See, if you're in this, all right, if you truly are in this, and this is one of the biggest hurdles that some people have when it comes to opportunities. Some people may start out for self, and then they get out of self and see the whole picture. But a lot of people that are really struggling right now, and it seems like they just can't make sense of it all, and how someone I spoke to yesterday, they started, but it wasn't anything that happened with them. Just like I'm telling you, they have an opportunity in front of them, and they got weary just because they heard what other people were going through and how something wasn't working out for them. Nothing that pertained to her, but just because she got weary because of what she heard other people were not doing, how they weren't reaping the benefits. So that can happen to you. But what's your focus? Your focus is the opportunity that's in front of you, what God has in front of you, the active opportunity that you're taking part of, because why? When you walk in that thing, you're really going to see just how charged and passionate you are in your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this Motivational Monday. It's really exciting up in here because we're talking about actively looking for opportunity. Like you said, we have opportunities that are all around, opportunities that seem to just go, to and fro, pass us by, knocking on our door, come in different packages, come in all type of sizes, come in the form of people. It comes in the form of conversations, whatever it may be. Opportunities are always there. But it's a matter for us, okay, to be active in seeking these opportunities out and actually identifying something when it is an opportunity. Because, sometimes in seeking and acquiring different opportunities, family, it's going to require you possibly actually increasing your skill set, okay? You just can't go forth. And like I said, I'm not knocking anybody at all, okay? Some people may have not even graduated high school out there, and you haven't even gotten your GED. Guess what? First step, get that GED, all right? Get that GED. And if you've gotten your GED and you want to go forward, then what? Go to the next step after that, whether it's like vocational or whatever it is, or you're trying to get into college, do something, all right? Because a lot of times the opportunities keep passing us by just because of a piece of paper. Now, how can I say that? When my wife actually started pursuing to finish up her college degree, and then she said, hey, why don't you go ahead and get your college degree, finish it up while I'm saying, because we actually went to a time where we had this big gap, and we started working and put college on hold for like many, many years. And, in my mind, I was like, well, I don't want to do that, Okay, I don't want to put forth any time with school. I don't want anything to do with school. So, she's actively going. I think she was in it like months to a year or whatever before I actually started. And so I'm like saying to myself, but she kept saying, hey, you can go ahead and do this. We can do it from home. And I'm like, I don't want to. But then all of a sudden I said, okay, I started thinking about, wow, maybe I should. I can go ahead and get, my MBA in business. And then this opened up so many other doors for me because I just got tired of the rat race I was in continually, okay? So I started going and signed up, ready to go for the business classes. And all of a sudden, right before it happened, I said, well, just all of a sudden, this is what I should have did in the beginning, but I just said all of a sudden, hey, you know something? Let me seek God. Maybe he wants me to add a different class or drop a class. Yeah, he wanted me to drop a class. He wanted me to change every single thing that I registered for to a whole different curriculum. And believe me when I tell you, it was something that I didn't want to do, but I see the benefits of what he has actually allowed me to receive my degree in. And and the funny thing is, I actually asked God that once I actually was about to receive my degree, I'm like, well, why did you actually start me on this pathway? And he literally told me, it's because of those pieces of paper that you're going to get from this. He's like, those pieces of paper are what I'm going to use to open doors. And those are the exact pieces of paper that I got that have opened so many doors, so many, accreditations, the whole diploma, the background, the knowledge, the expertise I've gained from that, the life experiences, how I was raised, all come into play with that. And it even comes into play right now with me being on the radio and speaking to each and every one of you. So, it's an opportunity that I had, but I did not recognize it in the beginning. Why? Because like I said, it wasn't what I wanted. All right. Just as I said before, just like with the radio, television, all the different things that God is opening, stuff that I did not want. But why? When God actually told me, hey, I want you to do this, you're going to get to a point to where if you're being led by the Lord, you're going to stop asking why. And you're just going to go ahead and do the whole okay. Okay, just okay. You're going to have some kind of track record that's going to be developed to where you're going to know, okay, if it's the Lord actually leading me and wants me to go ahead and do this, then I know it may not be eventual benefits that are produced up front, but I know for my long-term good, things are going to really start shaping out. And, during the time of when I said yes, and a lot of you may think, well, wow, God must be really bringing you into a big financial harvest. And something like I said before, that's like the bottom of the barrel, as you want to say, okay? Just like our pastor actually says, and how he just broke it down, and how your relationship with God is number one, your strengthening and taking care of your body and everything is number two, then your relationships with your family, friends, and associates, number three, and then finances is pretty much on the bottom of the barrel. But look, the reason that is that I've seen since starting this journey, getting on God's plan, and how so many other areas have actually increased in my life. I mean, areas that I actually really gave up on, to be honest. Okay, take it or leave it, don't want to have anything to do with it. But then just because of me stepping out in faith and just believing what God was doing and how all of these things were just turned around. But everything that you've ever wanted, you're really just a piece of knowledge away from actually achieving it. But what? You've got to actually take that necessary step to increase your knowledge base. Now, it doesn't do any good for you to be working for someone, all right, and you might be on the bottom of the totem pole and you see ways to do things better. But guess what? If you don't take advantage of possibly some type of training course on your job or actually getting certified with anything, the higher ups, they're going to just pass you by. Why? Because you don't have the accreditation or that little piece of paper that's saying what you're knowledgeable in a certain area. But a lot of us don't want to take it. Why? The opportunity's in front of us. Why? Because it requires work. It requires work. And sometimes, just as you're listening to me, whether you realize it or not, for you that listen every single day, and you're trying to find out what I need to do to get tweaked here and tweaked there, God has placed a mentor in your life to help you to get over the hump. Placed a mentor in your life to not just go around the mountain, but to go through the mountain. Okay, it's time. It ain't got time to be time. We're going to stop going over the mountain, okay? Going up the rough side and down the slope and all that stuff you hear, okay? We're going through the mountain. Get rid of all this old religious mindset that you have to do this. It's got to be this way. Look, if God says you are more than an overcomer, then guess what? Be more than an overcomer. Okay, don't be this empty shell of what religious nonsense says. Be what his word says you're supposed to be. Stand up and be accounted as he says. God says, boldly come before the throne of grace. Humbly, but boldly come before the throne of grace. So if my Father, which is in heaven, is telling me to come boldly before the throne of grace, why are we looking, or supposedly actively looking for opportunities out there as if we're like some little mouse? Why are we going before man, as far as like I said before, like little orphan Oliver with our bowl saying, can you give me some? Go forth and take possession of what God has in store for you. If you are actually allowing him to lead, guide, and direct you, you don't have to be concerned if I should go this way, I should go that way. He's going to prompt you where you need to go. People are going to pop up in your path. It's almost like opportunities may jump in front of you almost like with a neon sign. Does it happen like that all the time? No, it doesn't. But what? Be actively looking. Those mentors are going to show up. They're going to share their experiences with you. Opportunities are going to just open up for you. But you know, an opportunity yet again, like I said, is to realize the greatness that's on the inside of you. And also an opportunity that you need to actively be looking for is what? To actively change your mental mindset. You have to. You really have to. It doesn't matter if God has everything in the universe ready to give to you. He's not going to filter it through some cruddy mental state that's going to taint what he has, okay? It's about you being able and willing to receive what he has in store for you and willing to be led towards those particular opportunities, all right? It can't be the same business as usual. On this 2019, okay, and like I said, first partaker of all of these things. And as I was sharing some individuals on yesterday, we have to go to the mirror. And a lot of us see ourselves. We see opportunities. We look at ourselves and we may have a bruise on our face. We may have a scar on our cheek somewhere. Our hair may not be messed up. We may have a stain on our shirt. And we may sit right there and we may say, look at me. Look at my life. Look at where I am. And God's right on the side of you saying, what are you looking at? Say, can't you see what I'm looking at, God? Look and see what I'm looking at. And God's like, I don't see what you're looking at. God, look and see what I'm looking at. I don't see what you're looking at. God, it's right in the mirror. And God's like, now take off the clothing. What you see is the clothing that you wear on your body, because God sees the true individual that's on the inside. Because just like he told Samuel, he sees the heart of a man. And God's looking to your heart condition. And no matter where you are at in this life right now, your heart condition is what's opening up the opportunities, because each and every day he's trying to whisper in your ear. He's trying to tell you what's there. He's trying to tell you exactly how much you're already in your moment. Take it, run with it, and realize that you're in your moment. And we'll see you on tomorrow on Terrific Tuesday. Take care and God bless.